So the Starlink internet's really good, but then you've got to pay for a pole to hold your router.
Pay for a pole? I thought they all went home after Brexit.
Hello, it's the Glesga podcast. Coming up in the show this week.
Elon Musk is talking about taking everybody to Mars. He can't even get my mate's wife for Larbert to Dalgety Bay in the one trip. She's got to charge the motor up.
He's got an IQ 160.
IQ 160? And then he bought Twitter. Sounds to me he's got an IQ of minus 44 billion. It could have been worse. He could have lived above Lush.
Lush is amazing. See, when you scrub your balls, they just taste like toffee crisp.
Teabag yourself if you cleaned your knackersack.
All that still to come, but first, we're talking everything Elon Musk.
So what do you know about him?
He sold a company to eBay for 1.5 billion.
1.5 billion. Well, the actual price for eBay was only $1 billion. It was 500 million for postage and packing.
He got like 175 million.
How easy was it to get him though? Because it's annoying when you get your money to PayPal, you go to that fucking name every square with traffic lights. That's a pain in the arse, that. He's going, I can't get my money. They think I'm a robot.
He probably is a robot with a chip in his head.
He will be soon.
Aye, he's not got a chip in his shoulder, it's in his head.
Well, makes a change.
Do you remember like 5 years ago he launched that car into space? And do you know it's now 203 million miles away from Earth?
He should have launched it in Glesga. It'd be stuck in the fucking Kingston Bridge. What a guy, man. I mean, he's basically the richest man in the world. He's worth, what, 232 billion or something? And he's been married 3 times, married, divorced 3 times. Imagine how much he could have had. Could have had 700 billion. What a guy.
But he probably made the biggest mistake ever.
What, doing what?
Buying Twitter.
Buying Twitter. I mean, he paid, what was it he paid for it? 44 billion quid. So that equates to being bumped.
It does. That is proper bumped. And then he changed it to X.
X. Well, he married and divorced the same woman twice, so he's obviously got a thing for his exes.
And then remember, everybody went mental because he changed the blue verification badge.
Well, genius, because he got all these fudge to pay £8. Millions of these bams just to verify I've been bumped.
And have you got one of the blue badges?
Aye, and it never cost me £8 either, and I get to park right outside Asda. There you are.
He frightens me.
Why, does he live under your bed or something?
Well, he probably does.
He should frighten you. You've got an electric motor, you ball bag. I mean, you're dicing with death, right? Driving an electric motor. Now, I understand the whole environmental thing and all that, but you've got one of the electric motors. When you go anywhere, right, you can only drive at 4 feet without the heaters on. And if you put the radio on, you just break down, come to a standstill. I mean, imagine you were driving to Inverness. I mean, you're as well going Logan there, right? Because your electric motor's not going to get you there. You'll be heading up to Inverness and you'll get to Drummochter Pass and it'll be snowing and then your motor will break down. And how are you going to keep yourself warm? You can't turn the heaters on because the motor won't move again. You'll end up freezing to death in your electric motor.
I was stuck in Perth for 2 hours once trying to wait in a charger.
Trying to wait in a charger? That's unbelievable, man.
But I'm always dicing with death when you're in the motor because you end up shouting at folk and it's me.
Well, I tell you what, I think you'll find the hot air from my voice probably charges your motor up. I think you'll probably find that me doing my dinger in your motor acts as a battery charger. Your motor probably loves when I'm in it.
So the reason I wouldn't say I don't like him, I don't know him. I mean, he's not a mate, I don't have his number.
But people don't like him, this is what I don't get, right? I mean, he single-handedly, more or less, created the modern electric car business. And all these virtue signallers are all going, oh, the environment, oh, the environment, oh, the environment. And here's this guy comes along, he creates the electric car business, right? And they're still bad-mouthing the guy. What are you supposed to do for these people out there? They're just never satisfied. Because he's a bit wit, because he's hard on people, because apparently if you work for him and you don't come up to scratch, he sacks you. Well, come on, people. He's making rockets and electric motors. He's not cleaning a school, right? He's not running some domestic cleaning business. This is one of the world's most important industries he's in. And if you don't come up to scratch, well, you're going to get pumped. Hello?
Well, to be fair, he's offsetting his carbon by having rockets.
I can see where all this is going, but this is what amazes me, right? A mate of mine's wife works for a big company, and they got their company cars changed into electric motors. So they were petrol, now they're electric. Now, the problem with electric motors, they've no range. Range anxiety, right? Now, Elon Musk, right, is talking about taking everybody to Mars. He can't even get my mate's wife for Larbert to fucking Dalgety Bay in the one trip. I mean, this is madness. Oh, I'm going to take you out to Mars. She's breaking down at fucking Kirkcaldy. You know what I mean? Sorry, that's past Dalgety Bay. She's breaking she's breaking down in Dunfermline. She's got to charge the motor up to get to her work. It's nonsense, man. It's madness.
No, but you can get a supercharge.
A supercharge? What is that? You stopping, pulled out of the roadside and having a chug in it? What's a supercharge?
Well, it's 40 minutes.
You're taking a dog in, are you? You're going, come on in, the kinetic energy of having a pump will charge it up again.
No, it's 40 minutes it takes.
40 minutes? A 40-minute chug? Oh, you'll be exhausted, man.
I think electric cars are the way.
The way to what?
The way forward. Like, we can't be polluting. I mean, even in Glasgow, like, they've got the les charge and stuff like that, so people can't come in.
There's no doubt about the fact, right, that human behaviour leads to carbon emissions. You like a steak, you need steak comes from cows fart, and that's a carbon emission. You need to get from A to B, right? So you need a motor that can get you there, right? Motors burn petrol and diesel, which creates carbon, CO2. Now, what used to happen was that trees eat carbon and put out oxygen, right? The green land, trees, forests. And what we've done in the last 25 years, we've cleared the Amazon rainforest. The size of Belgium has been chopped down in the Amazon rainforest. That used to soak up carbon, and it's not there anymore. These are the lungs of the world. We've been chopping down all the trees so we can make fucking pish furniture, wooden houses and all that sort of stuff. Plant trees and that'll eat up all the carbon. It's called a carbon sump. But there's no trees anymore. We've cut down all the trees. That's how you get rid of CO2. Trees.
But I brought you here my electric motor, and I'm taking you home my electric motor, and then you'll get out.
Well, what were you going to do? Hire a diesel motor?
No, but what I'm saying is, but you offset it, because I'll bring you here, take you home, it's all electric, then you'll get out the motor and fart, and it just blows everything out the water.
One fart is hardly going to lead to global warming. And anyway, I was going to fart anyway.
If everybody farts...
Are you saying, what you got to put a butt plug everybody's arse now? Right, so it's one thing we say, don't use your motor, don't use your motor, don't go in a plane, make sure your house is insulated, and now you're going to put a butt plug up everybody's hole so they can't fart.
No, but the thing is...
You're the worst kind of Nazi, man.
But it's true. Now they say, like, if you're all watching EastEnders and everybody turns their kettle on at the one time, it will blow the national grid. If everybody
But that wouldn't happen during EastEnders because there's no commercial break during EastEnders. So right away that's a misnomer. It's Coronation Street. If during the advert break in Coronation Street everybody gets in and puts their kettle on at the one time, the world blows up. Pish.
Well, if everybody farted at the one time, the world would blow up.
No, wouldn't it? No, wouldn't it?
I would.
If everybody farted at the same time,
if everybody
farted at the same, it would just be reeking. That's all. And depending on where you live, if you lived at the top of a block of flats, you'd be in trouble.
And
right?
what?
But if you live in a bungalow, you're going to be fine because it's only you and the various others that you live there with is going to fart. The guy the guy next door, over the fence, if he farts, you're probably not going to hear it and you're probably not going to smell it. And let's be honest, when you fart, you don't mind your own gas. Am I right?
True.
Am I right?
Yep.
In fact, you know what it's like when you're in bed with your missus and you do a corker and you go, man, that's a Dutch oven. Smell that there, and you put the wife's head under. And okay, she's not too happy about it, but it's funny.
But the thing, if everybody, because 1 in 10 people that fart probably follow through, so there's going to be a big
1
mess.
in 10 people. See, you're just making stuff up. This is not scientifically viable. Has this even been tested? See, this is fake news. 1 in 10 farts leads to a shite and leaves a skid mark. That is not true.
Well, what is it then?
Well, I don't know, but I'm no profession to know stuff. But it's ridiculous. And what's that got to do with Elon Musk? But if it's going to do with Elon Musk, you probably wouldn't be allowed to fart. You know your electric car mob. Now, 1 in 10 farts amongst chronic alcoholics I would think there was a fair chance. If you went on Bet365, right, and you says, what's the odds of a person that drinks a lot farting and following through once in every 10 farts, you would get short odds on. In fact, they probably stopped taking bets.
Aye, especially if it was Guinness drinkers.
Guinness drinkers, it would probably harden it. Lager drinkers.
Going back to Musk, right, the reason I'm terrified of him is the whole AI situation that he's created, because he used to be best pals with the guy that owns Google. Did you know that? And they fell out.
Really?
Aye, because he raised concerns to the head of Google about how AI could potentially take over the world. But he's been partly responsible for that.
Well, look, here's the thing, right, about AI. People are saying AI could take over the world and this and that. I mean, look at the people who've got in charge anyway. Look at the people we've got in charge. Just stop for a second and look at the people that's in charge of the world at the minute. Look at the President of the United States. He's a few cans short of a case. I think AI, maybe it would probably make logical decisions instead of going, ooh, what did I have for my dinner? Look at who's making decisions in the world and then ask yourself, would AI necessarily be any worse?
Well, it takes the worst decisions for everybody and puts it into one, doesn't it?
The worst decision, does it?
Well, it takes the best or the worst of everything and makes... So basically it can create a human that's the most intelligent human in the world.
It would create a human as the most intelligent human in the world.
Aye.
AI would.
Aye, so...
No, you talking about this chip that he put into somebody's brain? And that's what happened a week or so ago. Elon Musk put a computer chip into a person's brain in order for that person to become, you know, no superhuman, but to have enhanced cognitive abilities. Is that right?
Aye.
Do you think there's something wrong with that?
Aye, you can't just be putting chips into folks.
Why is that any difference for you? Look, right, okay, think about this, right. So, suppose you've got a question. How many farts lead to follow-throughs? I wonder if somebody's done a study. Right. Now, what's the difference between... You're accessing data off the internet. What's the difference between using your hand to do it on a smartphone or having a chip in your head and getting the same data instantaneously? What's the difference?
Because then you'll not be able to think for yourself ever. You'll not need to.
Of course you'll be able to think for yourself. You control the chip. The chip doesn't control you. It's a bit like what's in that chip is who won the World Cup in 1930. Instantly, you could go on the chase. You could have one of the chips in your brain. You could go on the chase and answer every question. Think about it. The whole of the Smithsonian Library in your brain, dates, presidents, football games, everything, every piece of information recalled at will by a chip. You think about that. Never forget anything ever again. Never. You've got a meeting at 10:30. There it's there. It knows that.
But
come on.
But what?
So instead of accessing it on your smartphone, all you're simply doing, you're integrating it with your neural net, and you're instantly getting the information you need. That's what it is.
But what if somebody can just overtake that chip and make you do, like, I don't know, make you do the hoovering one day. What if that happens?
Well, can it happen?
Aye. AI.
Aye.
AI. But I think that's what can happen. They can take over your body. They can take over the world, and then there's no going back. Because once AI takes over, we're fucked. It's a bit
Well,
like...
how about we any different than you? I mean, you're telling me we're not controlled? You're telling me the way you think isn't controlled by the propaganda that's out there, by all the bollocks you read in the newspapers, by all the crap you see in social media? You're telling me that these chips can overtake your will?
Aye, but you can decide if you want to look at that and be swayed by it or persuaded otherwise. But a chip, they just basically press a button and you start going do well.
No. I suppose it might be possible, but think about the benefits of it. That'd be amazing.
He's got an IQ 160.
IQ 160, and then he bought Twitter. Sounds to me he's got an IQ of minus 44 billion.
What's your IQ, do you know?
I don't know, 104 or something.
Really?
I don't know. It's never been tested. But I know when I'm in the boozer, I'm smarter than the average bear boo-boo. So I don't know. But IQ's a cultural construct. Intelligence quotient. So when they measure your IQ, it's difficult to measure IQ across certain cultures. For instance, I saw something where they were testing kids' IQ in the United States in a working class area, and there was a picture and it says, what's wrong with this picture? And it was a boy with an umbrella and the sun was shining. So you don't need an umbrella with the sun shining, but they says there's a guy holding an umbrella and they seen that as a womanly, a female thing, that men wouldn't use an umbrella. So it's culturally subjective. Don't you know that?
No, never knew that.
Yeah, well, you should maybe get a chip implanted in your brain. You're missing a lot.
So he was smart, obviously.
Oh, I think he's very smart. I think the guy's clearly a genius. Single-handedly, right, the car market. It used to be electric motors were a bit, they were crap. They looked terrible. It's like they used to put disabled people in motors in the 70s, which were horrible. Right, there's a disabled motor. We're not giving you a nice motor. We'll let everybody know you're disabled. Right, you're fucking better off walking, right? And he made electric cars groovy, man. They're beautiful. These Teslas are beautiful motors. And his brother made these roof tiles, which are harder than normal roof tiles and act as solar panels. Right, these are big ideas.
Still to come on the Glesga Dad podcast, we're going to be talking about SpaceX, more on electric cars, and everything Elon Musk. Now, we're going to take a quick break and look at what you can expect when you come to a Glesga Dad show.
As a big guy, runs a lot of corporate events, big payer, I mean, serious money, right? And he says to me, you said the coolest thing anybody's ever said to me. And I went, really? Right. And he went, I asked you for your business card years ago. And what I apparently said to him was, I've no got business cards. Get yourself to fuck. If you want me, you'll find me. No, I probably did say that. So I've no got business cards. Give me a business card. Oh, fuck off. Give me your business card. I need to roll a joint. You know what I mean? What were you doing in Ardrossan? Rebuilding it eventually? Because during the war, the Luftwaffe came out to bomb it and they looked out and went, somebody's beat us to it.
You live like
Cuckoo land. That's where I live.
You live day to day. You don't have
right.
a plan, so you don't have an ultimate goal.
No, well, what is my ultimate goal? I don't know.
Well, some people like to, I don't know, like they're saying, 3 years' time they want to be a company director or they want you're like
Well,
that.
good for them. Oh no, I think if that's what you want to do, you should do it. I don't want to do that, that's not my thing.
But I always say to you, where do you want to be in 3 years? And you're like,
Above ground. We're talking about Elon Musk.
do you know he proposed that Hyperloop train system as well, where you could go to New York to LA in 45 minutes?
Well, we've got ScotRail. You could go from Glasgow to Falkirk, go back 45 years.
So what do you think of SpaceX then? What's your views on that? In terms of, is it...
There's two things. The first private corporation to put something into orbit, into Earth's orbit, right? And secondly, the first company... Used to, they'd fire these Saturn rockets, the moon missions and all that. They'd fire these Saturn rockets. Even the space shuttle had the 3 boosters, the big main booster and the 2 side boosters. They weren't reusable. These rocket boosters take the vehicle up into orbit and then come back down and actually land back on the launch pad. Genius! Absolutely genius. It's the ultimate in recycling.
Talking about recycling, I'm thinking of getting one of his internet connections for the house, because where I stand bigger, the internet is bollocks. So you can get SpaceX internet. On
Starlink it's called.
Starlink, that's it. But then they don't tell you, you've got to rent the unit, then you've got to pay the monthly fee, and then you've got to get it up on your roof.
You've got to get up your roof. It's got a antenna or something.
Aye, it's like a wee panel thing. It looks like a...
A sky dish.
Aye, basically, Skylink dish. But if you can't get up on your roof, you've got to get a big massive pole to hold it.
So you've got to mount it and it's just like a sky dish.
You've got to... Aye.
So what's the problem with it?
Well, it's expensive.
How much is it?
Well, it's £70 a month for the internet. It's a...
£70 a month?
Aye, it's a tenner a month for the equipment.
Oh, that's too much.
And then you've also got to get it up there. So you've got to get a roofer to put it up, or you've got to get a big pole that goes up.
A big pole?
Aye.
Watch when you're putting a big pole up, you don't hurt yourself. £80 is a lot.
A month.
I mean, what's an internet connection cost you? £20?
£20, aye.
£15, £20?
This, what's it, Starlink you said?
Starlink
Aye,
it's called.
Boats use it. Folk that go yachting around the world have got a dish on top
Well,
of
of course you kind of need to. Well, it makes sense. It's a satellite link. Right, so if you're in the middle of the Pacific, when you're at sea and you're all alone in the Southern Ocean, you're not going to be able to have a chug on your phone with 4G. I think the 3 network's not going to cut it for you if you're trying to have a chug on your boat. But £80 a month seems a lot just to have a chug.
Aye.
I think I'll get back to porn magazines.
I think you need a bit.
I mean, what else do you use the internet for?
Aye, to be fair.
I mean, that's the thing then about this chip in your napper. Imagine that. You could just think about it. It would be a porn fest in your head.
You sitting with your VR set on.
Oh, but you don't need a VR set. It's in your head. Your imagination. Now you've got access to filth and porn and all sorts. I tell you what, in fact, it'd be pretty dangerous.
Are folk going to be
I'd end up with a big arm like popping.
folk could be Glesga for the day.
Be in your head.
Aye, if you
With your
fancy...
Starlink chip.
If you fancy just sitting in your arse all day, you could just say I want to be Glesga for the day.
Yeah, you could do anything.
What about Twitter then? What do you even go on? Do you know what Twitter is? Do you go on Twitter? You use Twitter?
You only go on Twitter if you're famous now, don't you? I mean, nobody... I mean, we're on Twitter, but nobody's bothered. Nobody bothers with us. Nobody's interested in us. We've got how many followers?
It's aye, crap.
6 or something.
Aye, son.
So,
and 2 of them are us, so it's 4.
well, there you go. And nobody gives a toss about us. People on Twitter, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Who else?
Aye, 2 intellectuals.
Aye, that's the only 2 people on Twitter anybody bothers about.
And then Biden, if he remembers to turn it on.
Is he on Twitter? I'll be on POTUS, isn't he? He's President of the United States.
I think somebody like... It's a wonder he's not tried to stand for President Musk, or maybe he just can't be arsed with it. Or...
You need to be a naturally born US citizen. Elon Musk was born in South Africa.
Really?
Yes.
Didn't know that.
He's a South African because Donald Trump, it was a few years ago, he says, these great American industrialists is great, and he tweeted back, I'm a South African, you dumbass.
God, it's a wonder Trump let him in then, if he's for South Africa.
He's got millions of dollars. He's no some Bamfika bull. Right? He's got millions of dollars.
He can get a green card.
There are people in the world who are rich, so rich that what they do is they live anywhere in the world they want. They live above borders.
I had a pal that lived above borders in Buchanan Street, and he paid a fortune.
Bookshop.
He paid £1,000 a month. Genuinely.
To live in Buchanan Street.
Aye, above borders. Books.
Is that right?
Well, it's All Saints now.
It could have been worse. He could have lived above Lush.
Oh, the smell would be amazing.
I don't know. All the time.
I love it.
You'd be praying for the world to fart.
I love it, man. See, when you scrub your balls, they just taste like toffee crisp. Well, obviously, that's not what somebody
you
else.
teabag yourself after you've cleaned your knackersack.
Lush is amazing. It's a wonder he's not bought Lush. Imagine what he could do with Lush.
What could he do with Lush?
Just take it to the next level. He could take it to the moon. Do you know 5 years ago he shot a car into space?
Yeah, I remember that. He shot a car into space with a dummy in it.
That's right.
Right.
Kate Hopkins.
Right. Kate Hopkins was in it. Right.
Do you know you can go online and track the car at whereisroadster.com?
And do you know, viewers, that you can track him with whereisroaster.com? But is it in orbit or is it without into... Where is it? Where is the car?
I think it took a wrong turn.
Is it just careering through space?
It's just well, ironically, the car's been running for 5 years. No one, his cars wouldn't run for 5 minutes.
Because it might go out and come back again. It'll probably end up landing in somebody's house.
Probably.
Somebody got a claim for that.
Aye.
You're just walking down the road one day and this thing, it'll probably burn up in the atmosphere though.
It'd be funny if it just went around the world for 5 years and then ended up just coming back and sitting in the M8 for 2 hours.
Well, it's an electric motor, isn't it?
Aye.
I'd probably get stuck at the Drumoctor Pass. I'd be looking for a charge point in Inverkeithing.
That's right. I'll be waiting behind it, waiting to charge at Perth, Broxton. Do you remember that time as well he sent that submarine down to get the wee guys at the caves? Was it wee footballers or something? Thai footballers?
He'd offered to help, and I believe the guy who was in charge of the rescue operation said no. And then he called the guy a pedo, which was a bit strange.
How was it a bit strange? He took like 12 boys down a mine.
No, the guy who was leading the rescue.
Oh, right, sorry.
He says, do you want me to help you rescue these Waynes? And he goes, no, so he's been rebuffed. Now, maybe he had a good solution. Maybe he could have rescued the Waynes. I don't know. But then to be rebuffed and call the guy a pedo is a bit strange. Especially in this day and age, because if you call somebody a pedo and then they suffered reputational damage, oh, you'd get sued for that.
Well, they're saying, I can't get Wayne's anymore. You've ruined me. Something like that.
I think you should talk to your lawyer.
I don't know how many times we've said pedo, and this episode's just going to get canned because we've said pedo about 20 times.
Well, we can always chop it out.
And it's incredible that he started basically PayPal because he merged with a company, then they sold it to eBay, and like everybody uses PayPal. Do you use PayPal? I do. For buying stuff on the internet. Or getting it in installments, paying 3.
No, I don't get that. I don't use that.
You don't
I
qualify
don't use
for
the
that?
3 installments.
Why?
Well, I don't. What do I buy? You buy a book for £5, you want it 3 installments? Yeah, I'm not a fucking total popper. Right, I mean, what else do you buy? You need to do it in 3 installments.
I bought a hard drive the other day for £100. I needed 3 installments.
Well, you not got £100?
No, I don't want to give it away. I give it away £30 at a time.
What are you buying a hard drive for?
Well, we'll not go there. Time.
I suppose a hard drive takes up a lot less space than 14 years supply of Scud books. How much space is on it?
It only takes up a wee space. It sits.
No, how much virtual machine space is on
Oh,
it?
right, sorry. 5 Trigabytes, is it?
Terabytes, 5 terabytes.
Terabytes?
It's a terabyte.
Okay.
So you get kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, and terabytes, and they're all multiplied by 1,000.
Right, okay. So we've got 5 terabytes.
Yeah, do you know how many bits are in a byte?
As in what, a Big Mac? I'm 4.
There's 8 bits in a byte. 10101010.
That's a lot of space. That's a lot of Glesga daffodils. So if you wouldn't drive an electric car, what about these wee mobility scooters? Would you?
Oh, driving a mobility scooter. Oh, mobility scooters are great, but you're only going down the forge with them. I mean, you don't have range anxiety with a mobility scooter. I mean, you're not going down to Portsmouth in it. So it's a different thing. It's just that it's a bike for lazy people. I mean, they're all in America. You know, you go to Disney World. I mean, really, mobility scooters, they're for people who have got limited mobility, who, through no fault of their own, can't walk. But that's not what happens. Massive fat bastards use mobility scooters. I mean, they can walk, well, but they've just ate themselves into disability. Fat bastards. But I would use a mobility scooter. But I would get fat if I did, so maybe I wouldn't.
I've got an invention for you. Mobility scooters with brushes on the bottom, and they could sweep up the rubbish as they go along. Know how they be council vans?
Yeah, where does the rubbish go? So if you're sweeping up with it, you need a bag fitted to it. And then you need to stop and empty the bag. Shut up. I'm not fucking doing that. That's the council's job.
And that's all we've got time for. And before we go, let's see what was the most liked clip from last week. Dad, can you please, when you're over, stop bringing up Hannah's cooking at the dinner table?
Well, it's so horrible I struggle to keep it down. Fuck off.
Now remember, if you enjoyed this episode, please give it a cheeky 5-star review and tell your friends. And also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe and that wee bell, because it lets you know when the next episode is going to be released. Now remember to visit glesgadad.com for live show tickets, and we'll be back next week for more of this. Cheerio!
Fuck off.
Now remember and visit Glesga for show tickets, and we'll be back next...
What? What?